Good afternoon, my friends. Again, it is a pleasure to be with you, to share a few thoughts with you. And I will try to repeat what I had said before. You have crossed the threshold into what was prophesied as the age of tribulation. The years before the age of knowledge will be birthed. They will be turbulent times, and they will be times that you need to know how to navigate through. And with that in mind, I wish to bring something to your attention for you to focus on and to work on. You are living in the physical world along with 7 billion other people. And what all of you have not realized is that you have been programmed to accept certain things and yet not have any reason to know why, and not even know if they are true. As an example, I will have you focus on something that you're familiar with, which is a stop sign. As you approach the stop sign, you can see that it is red. Everyone says it's red. No one tells you it's blue or green or orange, but it is red. But why is it red? How do you know it's red? Can you prove it's red? There are certain scientists who have a machine that can measure the reflection of the light that comes off the stop sign, and it falls into a certain range of frequency, and that range of frequency is red. So they can prove to you that red is red. But you accept it because everyone has agreed that the color is red. Another aspect along the same lines has been created by religions. Religions have taught you that God is in this piece of real estate up in the sky. They did not teach you what Jesus taught, that the kingdom of God is within, that it is within you. They have taught you to send your prayers out to this God sitting in heaven up in the sky somewhere, and not directed inward. They have taught you that you are born with sin, that you are not worthy to talk to God, that only priests and rabbis and ministers can talk to God. They have diminished your ability to be all-powerful and all-knowing. Jesus said, "Ye are gods." It was not an original thought. It was written down centuries before in the book of Psalms. Ye are gods. As God, you can create whatever you need to create. You are not limited, you are unlimited. The problem is you don't believe it because everyone around you doesn't believe it. Just like everyone agrees that red is red, everyone agrees that we do not have the power of gods, and they are mistaken, for you do. You need to come into the realization that you can create whatever you want, that you are unlimited, that you are divine crystalline energy. The recording that you just used is very important because what that does is it has you cross the threshold from your everyday existence into your God energy. You are that God energy all the time. But when you claim it and when you know you are it, you can assume that power, if you want to use that word, that ability, and harness it to manifest what you need. When I was on the earth plane, I had used a movie that most people didn't realize was a very spiritual movie. And I used it to teach spiritual principles. And that movie was called Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And in that movie, and in that book that the movie comes from, is a very important line. And that line is, argue for your limitations and they are yours. If you believe you are limited, you will be limited. If you believe you're unlimited, you will be unlimited. And you can manifest what you need in the days to come. Now, as you walk through your daily life, doing your daily chores and doing whatever it is in your life that you need to do, you end up falling back into, I'll use the term social consciousness, into what everyone believes. The goal eventually is for you to walk as divine crystalline energy all the time. But that takes some practice and some doing. So what I am here to express to you and to reaffirm to you once again is the importance of using that tool that you just listened to, that recording, to get you to claim your divine crystalline energy, because you are it all the time. You just let go of it at times. You lose focus of that. You go back into the human consciousness of things and you forget that you are that. And what I'm here to remind you is that you need to stop forgetting that. You need to catch yourself when you say, I can't do that. Oh, yes, you can. You can do everything. If you listen carefully in that recording, it tells you you are the effector, not the effectee. You are in control. You are the master of your own ship. You can do it. You just have to be there. We urge you to use this recording frequently. As much as you can, sit through and listen to the whole recording. For there will be times where you will realize, I need to get into my divine crystalline energy. I need to claim it. I need to claim it now. And the more you use that recording, the more you can just claim it. Shift your focus and become that divine crystalline energy and begin to manifest and do and create what you need to create. Now, for those of you who have a problem with this and are having it's not coming so easily, then we say to you, in a time of crisis, put the recording on, listen to it for 4 or 5 minutes. You don't have to listen to the entire thing. It'll help you claim that energy, and then shut the recording down and do the work you need to do. Visualize what you need to do to manifest what you need. Because when you're in that divine energy, when you are that divine energy, you can manifest what you need. You can bring into your life what you need. And that is going to be a very important aspect. But the point is, you need to remember to do it. You need to catch yourself when you put limitations on yourself to go and claim your energy and create and cancel that thought. Create what you need to create. Do what you need to do at that moment. If physically you're not feeling so well, Go into your divine crystalline energy and remain there for a bit, and things will start to realign. It is the natural source. It is part of what the recording was designed for, what the channeling was meant to do for you. It is a very important tool that you can use and should use and need to use in the days to come. So we urge you to begin to use it. Simply go to the current website and you will find it there. And you can use the recording whenever you wish. And again, if you do not have time to listen to the whole entire recording every time, listen to part of it and then do the work and the manifestation work you need to do. It is extreme importance that you get rid of and banish and disintegrate that concept that you are limited. You are worthy. You are a God. You can create your future. You can manifest your needs. This is beyond question. It is knowingness. And when you have that absolute knowingness and you claim the divine crystalline energy, you can bring whatever you need into your life. And that will be very, very extremely important in the days to come to get you through this time of turbulence. My words are not meant to frighten you. My words are meant to inspire you, to take charge, to become the master of your own ship, to know that you have the abilities, you have the choice to do it. Whether you choose to use it or not, that is up to you. But you have the choice. You have the knowledge that you have the choice, which many, many billions of people on this earth do not have. You have the knowledge to know you can choose. We ask you to choose wisely at this time. We're ready for your questions.
Thank you, Carl and friends. We so appreciate your being here for us. First question is from Susan. There are varying reports on the Shroud of Turin and who the being is whose imprint is on it. Some say it is Jesus Christ. Can you tell us who the being is and how their imprint came to be on the shroud? Thank you.
When Jesus was taken off the cross, they wrapped him in a shroud, which is the Shroud of Turin, and he was placed in the tomb, and they sealed the tomb. The story in your Bible is very accurate. What is not recorded in your Bible is that Jesus, as you know, had died. His soul has left his physical body. But Jesus wanted to prove to the world that death was not the end of things. And therefore, he wanted to prove to the world that there is life after the change called death. His soul, his divine crystalline energy, went back to that tomb and went back and placed itself within the body. In actuality, his soul encompassed the body. So his physical body was inside his divine crystalline energy, his lifeless body. At that point, Jesus used the technique of thought transference to enable the molecules of his body to begin to move again and to change their vibrational rate. Jesus had used that same gift during his life, where in the Bible he went to the wedding at Cana, and his mother told him that they needed more wine. and he told his servants to line the bottles of water up, and he walked by them with his hands stretched over them. And through his consciousness and energy, and through he adjusted the vibration of those water molecules and changed their frequency into wine molecules. And they remained wine molecules, and everyone had wine to drink at the wedding. So he went into the tomb and he began to animate the cells of his body to begin to vibrate again. And they made them slowly go faster and faster and faster and faster until they reached and exceeded the speed of light. And when that happens, there is an explosion of energy. That explosion of energy caused his physical body to animate fast enough to vibrate beyond what could be seen in the physical world. And therefore, his body was no longer seen in the physical world unless the person had clairvoyant vision. In that explosion, an imprint was made on the cloth that was still surrounding the body. And that explosion of energy created the image on the Shroud of Turin. As you know, Mary was able to see Jesus because after he was in this, had his physical body in the world of spirit vibrating faster than what most people can see, he was able to lower that frequency down so that his physical body could be seen by Mary Magdalene and the other disciples. He had the ability to, and he was a master of frequency, so he could adjust it just as you can adjust the rheostat on your lights and make it bright and low, high and low. You if you think about it, the low end would be the physical world, the high end would be in the spiritual world, and he just adjusts his frequency up and down when he needed to be seen or not seen. And he had the capabilities and the mastery of doing that. And that is the story of how the Shroud of Turin. Yes, it is Jesus. It is an imprint of what he looked like. And scientists today can take that image and actually make a 3D image and have an exact replica of what Jesus looked like when he walked the earth plane. Do you understand?
Yes, thank you. And some of us have seen that 3D image. Very fascinating. The next question is from Carol. In this time of evolution, I have observed flowers change color. One from an orange to a golden yellow, another from purple to white. Is this a sign of the evolution of the plant people? Thank you.
It is actually, you were actually correct. It is an evolution of the plant people, but it's also the plant people trying to talk to you humans. It is telling you that you are living in a mindset where you think things are set in stone, and they're not. They're very changeable, but you need to be in the mindset of change. It mirrors the message that I gave to you before about being unlimited. They are showing you that you are unlimited. You can do changes that you think you can't change because of your limitations. So they are bringing the same message to you that was brought to you just a few minutes ago. Do you understand?
Yes, thank you. The next question is from Lou Vera. Did Pope Francis die the day after Easter? Some claim he passed weeks earlier and the Vatican staged his appearance with someone else. Thank you.
There are a certain group of people in the Vatican who are very well aware of the prophecies and what is scheduled to happen. They understand that their organization is losing their control over the people, and they want to try to extend that control for as long as they can. They did, I'll use the term, put the Pope on ice for quite a bit of time. He had died previously, but they needed to get plan and decide how to proceed. For you must understand that the Pope that just transitioned to the spirit world was a Pope of change. He did not go along with everything that many of the people in the Vatican wanted him to do. He marched to his own drum, if you want to use that term. And those people were not always happy with what the Pope was doing. So they wanted to get their ducks in a row so they could get a candidate more aligned to their own viewpoint of keeping control and keeping the masses suppressed and not liberating them as the last Pope had wanted to do. So they did have someone step in and impersonate the Pope for public appearances. And they also did not announce his death till after Easter, so they could line up the candidates that they wanted to replace him. You understand?
Thank you. The next question is from Susan St. Jean. Was there a divine reason for the timing of the oldest turtle giving birth recently? If so, what is the reason? Thank you.
It seems, my friends, you all have cement shoes today, for you're all asking the same question over and over. The reason that the turtle gave birth was to show you it was possible, because you think it's not. You've been programmed to think after a certain age you cannot recreate, you cannot give birth. And that also, while it is true, it is not limited to that. For if you claim your divine crystalline energy and you live in that energy all the time, and you do not fall back into your physical social consciousness that you always tend to do. And again, that is not judgment. It is just an observation that most people go back to it. They have a hard time staying there. But if you could stay there, you would rejuvenate the body, and women very old could still have children. It is a possibility. It doesn't happen often because of your mindset, but it is a possibility. So again, the turtle and the flowers are bringing you the same message that was brought to you earlier in this session. Get rid of your limitations. Get rid of your thinking of this is how it has to be, because it's always been that way. The age of knowledge is going to be very different than anything you have now. Everything is changing. Everything will be different. Everything will be new. Everything will be spiritually aligned and be very different from the way things are now. Get used to the idea that things are going to change and become part of that change. But again, that's your choice to do. Do you understand?
Thank you. The next question is from Susan Yu. There is a being named Zazar who is channeled by a lady named Marilyn Gavaki. Can you tell us a little about Zazar and where he comes from? Thank you.
The entity you are asking about comes from a galaxy far away, a star, actually a planet far away. It is a planet that has not lived under the cloak of ignorance that was created by the religions of this planet. So therefore, they are much more advanced than you are. They are aware of life on your planet. They are aware of the changing frequencies of the planet and of your ascension into a more spiritual realm, a more spiritual existence, that you will be in within the next 10 years or so. And they are watching, and they are also providing guidance through the channel that you are speaking of. There are many planets that have life forms on them that are watching what is occurring on Earth. Because you must understand that your planet is it's the least advanced of all the planets in the whole universe. When religions took over and captured the minds of people, and people began to listen to them and lose their own spirituality and their own sense of being God themselves, it caused the planet to slow down and not advance as other planets had. So therefore, you're far behind other planets. And if you understand anything about consciousness and energy, you understand that that the Earth is actually the anchor of the universe. Everything it has is made up of divine crystalline energy. So since you are the anchor and the slowest and the I'll use the word most ignorant of all, you are dragging down the whole universe. You're weighing them down. They can't advance as fast as they possibly could because they are dragging you along and you're not changing much. So therefore, they are very interested in what's happening in this planet. And they are going to do the best they can to assist the people who are making the choice to advance and align with their spirituality and being God, and align with their divine crystalline energy and be their divine crystalline energy. They are going to be working with them as much as they can. Because once that breakthrough happens and that shift happens and you enter the age of knowledge that has been predicted, that will lift that anchor up tremendously and allow the whole universe to advance. You must understand that when the whole system was set up, when Mother Source and Father Creator set the whole system up, evolution was part of it. People were supposed to evolve. All people, whether they're on the planet Earth or other planets, are meant to evolve. And there's no end to the involvement. It's infinite. It goes on and on. So even Mother Source and God, Father, God, Creator, does not know where things are going to end up because there is no end. It just keeps evolving and evolving and evolving. But the Earth plane is dragging things down and slowing everybody down. It's the cement shoes for the universe. So it is they have a vested interest to help you disintegrate your cement shoes, to bring you up and up more to their level so that they can also evolve further. I hope you understand this.
Thank you. Thank you. Very interesting. Our next question is from Carol. It seems if we have a close bond with our animal companions, with dogs specifically, that there are times when I have noticed a shift, a deeper closeness that wasn't there before. Are we helpmates to one another on our road to ascension? Do animals ascend? And what then? Thank you.
My friend, everything ascends. Everything is part of the divine crystalline energy. Go outside. If you toast gets stubbed on a rock, that rock is divine crystalline energy. The flowers are divine crystalline energy. The trees are, the air is, the fish are, the water is. Everything in the whole entire universe is divine crystalline energy. And as was just stated, everything is in a state of evolution. So everything is changing and everything is evolving. So yes, that is very true. So there are times when, whether it's a shift within you or with a shift within your dog, that there is more of an alignment on the communication level. You are working in the beginning of your meetings on sending and receiving, which can be called mental telepathy. And mental telepathy is not just limited to human beings. It is actually soul to soul communication. So therefore, it doesn't matter if the soul resides in a physical body of a dog or a horse or a fish. There is still the ability to communicate. You are very much aware of a scientist in Japan who used to send thoughts to water, to a bottle of water, and then freeze that water. And if he sent them negative thoughts, it froze. The crystal patterns were in one way and very distorted. And then if he sent them peaceful thoughts, it froze in a very peaceful and pleasing pattern. That shows you that thoughts are picked up. Your thoughts are picked up by water. Water. Does water have a brain? No, but it has a consciousness. And that consciousness is receiving that information and is reacting to it because it's part of divine crystalline energy. Everything is. So you have to understand the interconnectivity of everything in the whole entire universe, which is what we spoke about just before. It is all one. It all comes from the source, the one I am. You understand?
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Our last question is from Luvera. Did Jeff Bezos' fiancee, Lauren Sanchez, fly into space? Some people claim it never happened and the event was staged to make it appear they went out to space. Thank you.
The incident you are speaking of is one that was created. It was not in reality. The people who are creating that want the illusion of that event for their own ulterior motives and for their own manipulation of people. You are living in a time of a tug of war between those who are trying to be light workers and bring light into the world, and those who are, I will not use the word dark workers, but those who want to control the masses for their own purposes. And therefore, They are on the opposite end of that tug-of-war rope. They are pulling one way, and the light workers are pulling the other. You can add the Catholic Church to the group that are not working in the light. You can add most religions and most people who want to keep you away from being self-aware that ye are gods, that ye have unlimited powers, that ye can create whatever you want and whatever you need. Because if you live that life, if you have that ability, then you don't need them. And they know it. And they're afraid of that because they have lived their whole lives being in control. And those people who live in control are not comfortable without living with the control, of losing that control, of not being able to do whatever they want, because they will have to conform to another set of standards. You also are seeing that tug of war happen in your own political situation in your country, where it's a tug of war with those who had control and were able to do things that whatever they wanted, whether it was for good reasons or bad, and those who now want to hold them accountable. That tug of war is also going on. You are living in an age of tug of wars, of shifts, of balances, of turbulence is another way of stating it, of two forces pulling at each other in opposite directions, and that tension and that back and forthness will cause turbulence and will cause lots of dysfunction in your world and upsets in your world, because that whole concept, that whole consciousness is being created, and that consciousness is going to affect other things. Remember what was stated in your consciousness and energy recording, that those things that are in alignment, out of alignment, will become back into alignment. Well, it can also work in reverse. When that consciousness of turbulence that's being created by your political systems, by your religious systems, and everything else, can be absorbed by Mother Earth and also cause the earth changes and the turbulence within her, because she is a living consciousness. Everything is a living consciousness, just like the water cells we were talking about, the water drops we were talking about. Everything's consciousness, including the earth. So it is experiencing humanity creating all this nonsense, and it is going to absorb the nonsense and partially cause all the earthquakes and the shifts of the plates and these tidal waves, these tsunamis that will be created because of that, and all the earth changes is partially due to what humanity is creating at this point in time. So this is another reason we are stating to you, don't be part of the problem. Use the consciousness and energy as much as you can. Claim your divine crystalline energy. Work on the lights, on the source of light workers, on that side of things, to bring more light into the world, to help bring things back into balance. I hope you understand all these words and take them to heart and begin to make some changes. But again, the biggest one we can say is, every time you catch yourself saying, I can't do something, remind yourself you can. Go in, claim your divine crystalline energy, and begin to do it immediately. Do you understand?
Thank you. You've been an inspiration to us. And thank you so much. We love you.
It is a great pleasure for us to be able to help you at this time, to assist you, to point out and give you pointers, and to guide you on how to proceed. For these times are definitely confusing. They are the turbulent times are difficult, and we are here to assist you in any way that you can, that we can. Again, we stress to you, when you need us, call out for us, but then be quiet and allow us to respond, because you need to be in the quietness in order to hear our voices or feel our inspiration. And we wish to leave you with that at this time. I thank you so much for your attention. I thank you for considering everything that was said today, for today's messages were quite important and quite essential for you in the days to come. Again, the choice is yours, but we leave you with our blessings and our love. So be it.